So look at Anthony Ryder from South Lyon, Michigan, recently selected as the Lions 2020 Fan of the Year. He has a passion about sports broadcasting.
With the 112th selection in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, USC. One pride, baby! Yeah! What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, over the last 12-ish hours, the Detroit Lions roster has changed quite significantly. The Lions have made multiple signings as well as making a big move to clear up some decent cap space in order to go after another premier free agent. Today is just an update video talking about the free agents that we signed as well as the free agents the Lions could still be looking to go after. So, getting right on into it, the biggest news of the offseason so far, you know what it is. It is the Detroit Lions signing two-time Pro Bowl long snapper. That's exactly what you guys were all thinking, right? Yes, the Detroit Lions did sign a two-time Pro Bowl long snapper from the Dallas Cowboys. Long snapping was an issue last year. It's something that was kind of a concern for the Detroit Lions. They did tender Scott Daly, which tells me that they weren't too concerned that if they didn't get an upgrade, they'd be okay. But adding this veteran obviously implies that they were not happy enough with Scott Daly's performance to repeat it in the 2022 season. And I would assume Scott Daly will be gone after being tendered just a few days ago. And now getting on to the actual big news. The Detroit Lions have reportedly signed Chauncey Gardner Johnson to a 1-year, $8 million contract. A player that led the NFL in interceptions a season ago is now joining the Detroit Lions revamped secondary and will wreak havoc in the Honolulu Blue. Yes, CJ Garder Johnson is a Detroit Lion after having a phenomenal 1-year stint with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's coming over to work with his former defensive coordinator and former DB coach in Aaron Glenn. They have a lot of history together, even going all the way back to his high school days. And if anybody knows how to use CJ Garder Johnson, it is going to be Aaron Glenn. I think this move completely revamps our secondary with the Sutton signing, with the Mosley signing, and now with the CJ Garder Johnson signing. Those are probably your three cornerbacks, and then Okudah is going to slide in as probably a third safety or kind of a maybe positionless player that just kind of floats around the defense and is allowed to make plays and be aggressive on the football. Maybe a little bit of linebacker, maybe a little bit of down in the box safety. I think there's a lot of roles Okudah could play, and I think Garder Johnson will rotate into some of those roles as well. I think when he's kind of playing more of a box safety run support player, Okudah could be playing in the slot while maybe and then when maybe CJ Garder Johnson's in the slot, you could see Okudah being more of that, maybe even weak side linebacker-esque role like he played against the Dallas Cowboys, where he looked like an elite player. So I think this move is a great move, a phenomenal move for the Detroit Lions. It really opens up everything that they're allowed to do on defense. Gives them a defensive playmaker, gives them somebody who can turn the football over, and gives them some veteran experience, gives them somebody who's a little savvy on defense, gives them a little bit of personality on the defense, and somebody that is going to talk, somebody that is going to make headlines, and somebody that kind of brings a little bit of that swagger back to Detroit that they've really been lacking ever since losing Darius Slay. And then the news that broke this morning is the Romeo Okwara news. The Lions edge rusher agreed to renegotiate his contract and reduce his cap hit in 2023 from $14.5 million to just $5.647 million. This frees up roughly $8.5 million total on his contract. And likely that means the Detroit Lions are going to go after at least one more free agent. Now, I'm not entirely sure where the cap space sits at this point. I've seen multiple different reports saying the Lions have the second most cap space in the NFC right now, down to the Detroit Lions have literally $10 million exactly with this renegotiation happening. I'm not sure exactly where it sits, but it does feel like they open up that cap space for a reason, and it doesn't seem like Brad Holmes to sacrifice draft capital for 1 year signings and free agents. I don't think he would go below the line where you couldn't pay your rookie deals, right? I don't think you'd go below that $9 to $10 million total, so you couldn't pay your rookies. So I think this opening up $8.5 million is going to go after a free agent, and of course, most people, most Lions fans, do believe that this will be DJ Chark. There have been reports that DJ Chark and the Detroit Lions have been in contact about potentially returning. As of right now, it seems like a two-horse race between the Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers did just sign Adam Thielen to a 3-year contract, which could deter the wide receiver from going there. But the Detroit Lions also have quite a few wide receiver in the depths here as well. So it's going to come down to probably who's going to pay him more and who's going to give him the best opportunity to succeed. And I think that is the Detroit Lions. I think they have a more stable quarterback position. I think they have a better role carved out for him, and a role in offense that he's already extremely familiar with. And I think the Detroit Lions are being patient with Chark. I think they're going to wait until probably that price range comes down from about 11 million to maybe 9 or 8 million, something they just cleared with the Romeo contract. And I think they're going to go after their premier X wide receiver. But with all that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about all of these moves. What would you grade these moves so far? I'd be very curious to you guys think. But with all that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, and as always, go Lions.